Hello everybody and welcome to another Garden and Crystals video, and today I'm going to be talking about my sword fern here, otherwise known as Boston fern, and its Latin name is Nephrolepis exaltata. If I'm pronouncing that right, I don't know, but that help you maybe find it online if you want to know more about this plant. As with many ferns, this fern actually really prefers moist, humid conditions. And when it's brought into the home as a house plant, it's really important that you mist it. It really does need moisture around it and a moist soil. But I've been away with work a lot, and between our apartment here in Malmö and Crystal Cottage, so I'm not here all the time to water, and I'm not here all the time to mist this plant. So I don't know if you can see, but see here, it's crumbling. Most of it is just crumbling off. Most of it's dead. It's completely dried out. There are a lot of areas that are still very green and fine, but if you look at it around the back here, it's just, yeah, you can hear it, it's crunching, it's completely dry. So basically, I was on the verge of like, this doesn't work indoors. I think I'm going to just throw it away and put something else in this pot. But you know what? We don't do things like that. We have to love these plants back to life. So I'd go and take a plant like this from a plant school and bring it home, repot it, give it new soil, give it the things it needs and bring it back to life. So I need to do that with my own plant that I already have. So we're going to take this plant out of this pot because I have another plant I'd actually like to put in this pot. I've decided to put it in a lower pot, this pot, with a beautiful kind of turquoisey green colour around the edge. It's like this, that the plant will have plenty of space. But instead of keeping it indoors, I'm actually going to keep it outside here in our terraced area with all the other plants you can see around me that are very green and lush and enjoying the atmosphere out here. And I think this plant will do much better outside. This plant is actually hardy in the fact that you can leave it out all winter in a place like this where it is sheltered anyway. It's sheltered from the sun. It still needs to be in a shady condition. It doesn't like bright light. So a shady condition and watered, and outside it's not going to be too dry. It will be misty enough. It will be humid enough for it to survive better. And if it gets too cold, it will wither back, but it won't die. It will come back the next season. It's like most other ferns, you know, it will come back again. Out here, it won't get much below zero, so I think it'll be fine out in the pot for the winter time. But anyway, for the summer, I want to rejuvenate this plant now. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically take it out of this pot and put fresh soil in here, put the plant in, water it, and I'm just going to pull out as many of these dried up leaves as possible to make room for the new growth that's in the middle, the drumsticks to come out and replenish this plant. So stick with me while I repot. Now, as you can see, this plant doesn't have much of a root ball, and each piece of this plant, actually each leaf is a separate plant. I mean, if I wanted to, I could make hundreds of plants out of this one, but we're not going to do that. I like that thick, lush look. I could split it into 2-3 different plants. At the moment, I don't have the space for that here, but that is an idea if you have one plant, like many plants. I love the idea of splitting them and making more plants. You know, you give them more space, and you can give them to friends, family. You can swap them with people. You know, just buying one plant, you can do a lot with it. So anyway, I'm just going to take this out now because I don't want it in this pot. Put it down on the side. Move this beautiful pot that I'm going to be using for another part. This is really beautiful turquoise color. Pull up the other pot. Make some space. Now, when these plants are indoors, actually, they do like to have a little bit of like indirect sunlight to keep them healthy, because they're not getting the ideal conditions that they need to survive unless you are literally misting this plant all the time to keep all the leaves, you know, moist. So some soil here. And I'm just using normal garden soil that's rich in all the nutrients that the plant needs. So basically just put that in the bottom. This. I'll press it down a bit because it will sink. Make sure there's plenty. So now I'll put the top of the soil in, take the plant up again. Or maybe, yeah, it's too hard to divide, we'll see. I haven't got the tools. And no, I could get a knife and divide this, but I'm not going to actually. I'm just going to plant it as it is. Because it's going to be out here. It's going to look lovely. And it's not dead, it just needs tidying up. So now it's in the pot, just need to put the soil around it. I need to remember, this is something I always do. I always put the soil right up to the top, and when it comes to watering, the water runs over the edge. So just a little tip for you, make sure that you leave a centimetre or two, and then your watering job will be much easier. So that was just a note to myself, because I know I'm probably going to do it again down here. But I'm pressing it down as much as I can around the edges. By the way, the way I'm sitting here, I'm just getting soil all over me. But you know what? It's so nice to have your hands in the soil. Don't you just feel the energy of the earth? Oh, I just want to stop and have a break. I just want to enjoy it. I feel so energized and thankful when I'm sitting around plants like this. I've got a beautiful hydrangea, mophead hydrangea by the side of me with its beautiful green colour and pink around the edges. It's called Magical. It's absolutely beautiful. And behind me I have actually a bigger fern from the Swedish forests, and a spruce tree that I've put in the pot here. All sorts of other stuff, rhododendrons. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, more soil in this pot. Go. Down. That was actually a really quick, easy job, the first part. So now see this new pot, it looks absolutely beautiful. And now I just need to sort out the leaves so that I can cut out. I was supposed to put gloves on my hands as well. I usually do that, but actually with this, there's no stones or anything rough, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'll cut out some of these dried up pieces, because I know that they'll come back through once there's space and there's light. And actually this is really full of dust because it's indoors as well. So that's not good for the plant either. It hasn't been misted enough. So this, ferns are amazing plants. They always remind me of Jurassic times. You know, they're one of the earliest found, or the oldest plants found on Earth. And there's so many different types for all sorts of different conditions, and they grow everywhere in the Swedish forests. Much bigger varieties, different varieties, and also very small ones too. So there's all sorts. Now I'm hoping by just doing this, just giving it a bit more space, cutting out some of these, that will give it air, it'll have room to breathe, and it will have the zest to carry on living.